Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to take a slightly closer look at the Specna Arms G36C. Now, some of you may have seen this in a previous video, which was my recommendation on which AEGs you should purchase first. And this little puppy came out as my choice of G36s. So I wanted to take a little bit more of a look at it today and give you guys an idea of what you might or might not like about this particular gun. Now, in terms of G36s under £200, there are a fairly wide selection of guns you could go for. You could opt for an Ares, which is arguably the most reputable brand out there in terms of G36s. You can get some G&Gs as well and what have you, but really they start creeping slightly above the £200 marker that we've set for this. Another great brand is Jingong or JG. Their G36s, I purchased one as my very first gun quite some time ago, and that was a Jingong G36K, so that's the slightly longer variant, which I had all sorts of aspirations to turn into a DMR that unfortunately haven't happened yet, although I do still own the gun, so someday, somehow. Now, as I was saying, Jingong are great because they also 95% of the time supply you with a battery and a trickle charger. Now, this may sound fairly small in terms of value for money, because batteries are a dime a dozen and a trickle charger isn't that fantastic anyway. If you're going to start charging your own batteries, you want to look at a proper charger, something like a Nuprol even. So, but in terms of the batteries, G36s can be a bit of a pain in the ass. They are front wired for obvious reasons, because we have nowhere to hide a battery in here. And as such, as you can see, there's not a lot of space here anyway. And you fit a barrel through the middle of this, and suddenly what they deem to be a plethora of space to put your battery becomes a real nightmare in terms of finding something that will fit underneath the barrel and inside this handguard. So sometimes a pre-supplied battery can be a godsend. That being said, this is a video about the Specna Arms, and this doesn't come with its own battery, so be warned. But what this does come with is electric blowback, or EBB, and it's something that can really change the way a gun feels in game, because obviously with your standard airsoft rifle you get the noise of the gearbox and that's pretty much it. With an electric blowback, what you'll find is that the bolt and the dust cover actually reciprocate, much like a real gun, with every pull of the trigger. May sound small, but it really adds a sense of realism to a gun. If you've ever had a more expensive rifle in your hands that has electric blowback, you know exactly what I mean. And for this gun to have EBB is a bit outstanding really, because as previously mentioned in another video, these Specna Arms G36Cs come in at £120, or to be more precise, £119.99, which is not only fantastic value for an airsoft rifle and an airsoft replica in the first place, but for it to have electric blowback as well for that price is pretty cool. Now, how have they done it? Well, it's a pretty standard gearbox, so they've not saved the money there. It's the EBB system is fairly reminiscent of the EBB systems you'll find on the more expensive G36 options that come from Ares, etc. Obviously the components aren't identical, but they're a close enough facsimile. So I wouldn't say the cost has been saved there. Polymer wise and feel, that's possibly where some of the value has gone, because although the G36s in real steel variants are all polymer as well, the quality of this polymer, I don't know. It's a little bit scratchy and yeah, not all that great. There's nothing to be concerned about in terms of wear and tear, I would say. It's going to stand up to being scruffed along a tree, or, you know, scratched a bit here and there on an inner wall or that kind of thing. It's not going to take too much. But I wouldn't wrap it around a tree, and I wouldn't drop it too many times. I think you'll find the polymer will eventually crack. That being said, apart from the polymer, you also have, I don't know if the camera will pick it up if I come a little bit closer, you can hear that play and that wobble in the where the handguard attaches to the rest of the gun. The fitment isn't the finest quality, and as such you do feel like this gun has a few rattles and creaks. But that being said, it's a G36, and they're not renowned in any way, shape or form for their build quality, no matter who the manufacturer is. So, horses for courses, I suppose. With the Specna Arms version, as well as the EBB, you also get these additional Picatinny rails as standard, which is honestly not something you see on every G36C. Even some of the Aries ones and what have you might only have the plain handguard itself. And certainly the Specna Arms one comes with this vertical foregrip as well, which is another nice addition really. And again, not found on all the other versions that you can buy. That's about it really. It is ambidextrous as well. So obviously, as with all standard G36s, the mag release is under the trigger guard. So that's ambidextrous, and the controls, quite pleasantly, are ambidextrous too, and have a fairly good positive click and feel to them. So no worries there, although they are all polymer as well. And as you can see, with a very cheap little optic along the top, it can look quite a smart little setup. This whole thing, I think, if you consider the gun was only 120, the optic came from Amazon. It's a replica ACOG, and I think that only set me back 25. So for under £150 with postage and shipping and what have you, you've got yourself a very, very nice, tidy little starter gun. And it's electric blowback. I can't stress that enough. It's very good value for money. So if you're considering a G36, this would be a strong contender as far as I'm concerned. And certainly if you can get your hands on one, you may just fall in love. Okay, if you've enjoyed this content and it's been of some use to you, a like and obviously to subscribe would be fantastic. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.